Good morning, everybody. Happy Saturday. Welcome to the live. Hi, I'm Charlie. I hope everybody had a big week. Want to thank everybody doing their homework and getting into the Slack. And just yesterday we had Noah join. That was fantastic. It's been a big week insofar as we've gotten some clear direction on some Facebook things, and some case studies, and we're getting some new group members. There's been a lot of people asking some really great questions, so we've been able to really dive into that. When you guys are posting stuff, we've been really able to dive in and answer a lot of those questions and get them posted into the group. You'd be shocked at how much pornography I just have to ban. It's crazy. But hey, it's not getting through. That's what I got to do. All right. Anyway, welcome to this week's live. We're going to cover some homework. We're going to cover the poll from this week and cover some of all y'all's questions throughout the whole thing. So started off with once again, we've got this group. There's also a Patreon, which has ebooks in it and a bunch of all the history of all of our lives in it as well. And we've got a Slack channel, which is a one-on-one communication tool to me, and then also a bunch of other advertisers. It's sort of like a mastermind group kind of thing, but I'm not going to call it that because those things are bullshit. And we've got a bunch of ebooks, and we also do one-on-one calls when there's time. Court, I got your question about a one-on-one. I'm going to try to do something today, but I'm awfully busy because I got a show downtown after this, and we got to take the puppy to go get him all his hair did and a bunch of things. So we'll see if we can't make that happen for you. If not, I'll figure out a thing, and definitely message me with what your questions are about your Pixel stuff, so we'll get that taken care of. Also, our Tapjoy rep is back from a conference, and a couple group members were up for awards this week, so that was fantastic. Congratulations to Alyssa just for even being nominated, and the whole team. That's awesome. Also, Build to Break is coming up, or is just passed. So the Disruptor Summit. So that's a big news. And, we have all these extra things, but one of the things we like to do is say every week we give homework. So if you do any of the homework, you get access to any of the things, either an ebook for free or half off any of the paid stuff. So you can get in there. This week we've gotten a lot of good people taking advantage of it. So we're going to start that off. You can find the beginning of every one of the lives. It's how we open. And, this is a big anti-guru thing. We're not in favor of people charging way too much to do bullshit work, selling out-of-date stuff to people, taking advantage of them. So our prices are reasonable, and if you want half off reasonable, then you just do a little bit of homework, and all of the homework is there to try to help you do things. This week, for instance, Noah went back to a live feed from July and did the homework around using engaged shoppers inside of targeting, sent in a screenshot of him applying it, and then boom, half off in the Slack, and it's great to see him. That was just yesterday. So anyway, you can go back to any of the live feeds, do any of the homework. If you want to half off of one thing and then half off something else and more free shit, just do more homework. It's just that easy. All right. So anyway, with that being said, let's get into the homework for this week so that we can just plow through this stuff. All right. So the homework for this week is I would love to see you all set up a test and learn piece. This is it's a split test set up by Facebook's machine. Now, this is a little bit more complicated than other things, but when you hit what they call the hamburger button, which is up here in the corner in Facebook, and it pulls down, you got your menu. I think it's in the third row. There's a thing called test and learn. In there, you can set up a scientific split test where Facebook will take the entire universe of Facebook users and split it in half. So what I'd love to see you do in there this week is take your retargeting and split it in half and send half of them to engaged shoppers and half of them not. And what we're trying to do here, by the way, for you to have the homework thing, just send me a screenshot that you're in the test and learn. You don't actually have to go through with it all because I don't need to see everything and there's a lot of work. And if you get stuck in anywhere, please let me know. But what I'd like to do here is we're going to test and learn how taking your retargeting audience and applying engaged shoppers will take down your audience pool down to just the users who are commonly clicking on Facebook ads to make purchases. which gives you a smaller audience, which is something that we say is a no-no because it's going to cost you more to reach a smaller audience. However, that audience is higher quality because they're people who have shown a proficiency to click on Facebook ads and make purchases. So what we're going to see over time, and let's set this up for, if you want to get it going, set it up for 2 weeks. So 14 days. So if you set it up if you set it up today, it'll be ready by Friday, 2 weeks from now, because it's Saturday. Actually, I guess it'll be done Saturday, 2 weeks from now, because it starts at midnight. They always start by midnight by default. But the idea here is you want to see this having very large audiences where you do not restrict them by engaged shoppers. Does that efficiency you get with larger audience pools outweigh the performance increase that you get by focusing just on the people who are likely to make a purchase? So you're going to have one cell that you're going to have one campaign that is engaged shoppers with your normal retargeting ecosystem, and then another campaign that isn't engaged, that it doesn't restrict by engaged shoppers. So if you have a room full of 100 people, maybe 75% of them are engaged shoppers, which is a behavior that Facebook has. It's in the interest section, and it's categorized as a behavior, and it specifically means people that click on Facebook ads and then make purchases. They're regular Facebook click and buyers, which is very important. So if you've got a room of 100 people and 75% of them are, click and buyers, now one campaign's only going to focus on the 75 people. The other campaign's going to focus on the 100. Not a big difference. If you're going back to site traffic, maybe you did last week's homework about the ad engagers going back 6 months or a year, that difference in the audience pool could be really, really big. It could be hundreds or thousands of people, which means you're going to see a higher CPM on the engaged shopper, but hopefully you see a better conversion rate or a better CPA. And then you hopefully will see a lower CPM, cost per thousand impression over here, which means you're more efficiently reaching people. Now, in theory, if you're reaching them for cheaper, you should be able to convert them for cheaper, but your click-through rate will be lower. So you are going on volume versus efficiency. So that is that's the test this week. Set it up, send me screenshots if you have any questions, do that up, and you get any of the ebooks. You get into the Slack half off, you get a one-on-one phone call half off, or you can get into Patreon half off. It's just that easy. I really encourage you to do it. It's something that I've been doing a lot lately, and spoiler alert, the engaged shoppers inside of retargeting tends to actually, the CPAs are almost always lower, but after running it over time, I've found that the CPMs tend to be roughly equal. And this is because of the bid inside the machine and the auction. And this is something we've talked about before. And if you're new to the channel, let me explain it to you. The way Facebook decides what to charge you is the bid. So even if it's on lowest cost, which is auto bid, or you're doing manual bidding or cost cap bidding, and we're going to get into a lot of manual bidding today based on our poll question from the week, right? There. Anyway, the bid is equal to your budget divided by your estimated action rate. Now, there are other things, but it's a very simple version. So basically, because people are more likely to take an action, because they are people who Facebook has denoted as people who click and then buy, the bottom number in your fraction, the numerator or the denominator, is larger. So if you're trying to spend $100 and your estimated action rate is a 10, then your bid might be $10. If you're spending $100 and your estimated action rate is a 2, then your bid might be $50. Now, this is where it comes out when you see what your CPA is after running your campaigns. How much do you pay to make a conversion? So this is where you're going to be able to see those differences. Now, there's also another element in there about how much the inventory is. There's a lot of other fancy math. But what we want to see is for your brand or for your product or for your business or for your clients, does retargeting with only people who are likely to click and buy improve performance. And we're probably going to see that it works for some audiences and not others. And maybe that's the nice piece that you learn is people who have been to your site really recently, it doesn't matter. Like your site traffic one day might not be affected, but your ad engagers for the last 6 months or a year, it might make a really big difference because you're taking an audience of say 10,000 people down to 9,500. You're not losing a lot of your audience size, but you're taking out all the people who aren't likely to click on a Facebook ad. They're just people that have engaged with you or been to your site. So you're kind of cleaning out a little bit of the crap, and in exchange, you're getting a much higher conversion rate, which gives you a much higher estimated action rate, which gives you a higher number in the denominator, which means you pay lower for the bid in the auction, which means you save money and you can sell things for cheaper on Facebook. So anyway, that's the homework. I hope you enjoy it. I'm really interested to see what you all see from it. And take screenshots, send me messages, ask questions inside the room. Remember, so many times, 20 people ask me the same question. And you know, I'll ask people, and Amber asked me a question this week. I missed it because it was in my direct messages in Facebook. But she asked me a very great question about retargeting, and I asked her, please ask this in the group so that I can answer it for everybody, because there are literally thousands of people that are used to seeing this. And not to blow up her thing, but you know, she has a store on Shopify. And if you've ever gone to the Shopify Insights, it tells you how much money was left in your cart from people that didn't finish the buying process. So I would love to go into in-depth detail about a solution for that. But it'd be great if you ask the question inside of here. Otherwise, I'll get back to you one-on-one. But I know that there are literally hundreds, if not thousands of you in this group that would love a deep dive like that, just like we did last week on how to set up a seasonal or a flash sale campaign, the way that the gurus tell you to do it, the way that people have done it since the dawn of advertising, and the way you should do it on Facebook. So anyway, that's that. Let me drink this coffee real quick. Oh. Coffee today is from Vita, wonderful store here in Silver Lake, California. Also, this shirt is from a store called Gimme Danger. It's right next door to Pilates Punk. Great place. Anyway, hi Austin and Abu and Bilal and Eldon. How you guys doing? I saw a bunch of things go up. It's weird. When I do a live, it doesn't tell me everybody who's in the room right away, and it doesn't show me all the reactions right away, and then at once, boom, a bunch of things happen. And also Abu and Rabah have clicked like, hey guys. Great. So today we're going to cover a lot of this manual bidding, okay? So it was pretty interesting, actually. So I've been trying to do this every week, is ask you guys poll questions so that we can cover a really in-depth detail for the lessons for the week based on your own feedback to the questions that I get asked a lot. In addition to that, it also really helps inform me on the larger pieces that we need to cover instead of ebooks and bigger lessons. So here, we said, who's using manual bidding, and if so, which? Now, the number one answer was cost cap. The number two answer was haven't been able to make it work. The number three answer was bid cap, and then nobody's using target cost. And none of you guys were like, what's that mean? So that's good. Maybe that was because you guys didn't want to say that you didn't know, but that's fine. So bid cap, interestingly, is used by Dylan and Rabah and Jody. And I've worked with Dylan before, and Rabah has been they're both OG group members, and they're on bid cap. Now, what bid cap is to say, I'm willing to pay up to a certain price to make a sale. I'm not going to pay a penny more, but I'll spend up to $50 or $20 or up to $100. So when Facebook is seeing all the auctions going in and they see your budget divided by the estimated action rate against that individual, if it knows I can get this person to make a purchase for under $50, take it. If it's $50.01, they won't. Now, bid cap is phenomenal for three big things. Bid cap is great in putting a hard stop on how much you're willing to spend on a conversion. You will never spend more than that for a conversion. Now, your overall campaign might end up spending more because it tries to spend a few in a couple places, doesn't make a sale, and it shuts off. But in general, over time, you're not going to pay more than that. Number two, bid cap allows for functionality called accelerated delivery. Now, what happens in Facebook is it's not going to give you every sale that it sees all day long. Facebook is built as an always-on platform. It wants to be able to spend money at 11:59 and right before midnight, the same way it's going to do at noon, and the same way it'll do at 4 o'clock in the morning. So it has a pacing engine. So it's waiting all day long to make sure that it's going to have money left over to make sales. Now, where this hurts you in a bid cap situation is that there might be 8 sales that you could make before noon and another 8 that you'd make after noon. And Facebook sees, okay, well, we've got roughly 16 sales that we can make. And their budget says that they've only really can afford to make 10. So again, let's say your product's $50, right? So, and you have a daily budget of $500. So Facebook knows, okay, bid cap of $50, budget of $500. I can't make more than 10. I can't make more than 10 sales at $50. I have to find them for less, and I want to deliver them over the course of the day. What that means is it might get 3 or 4 in the morning and then try to get the other 4 to 6 or more by the end of the day, depending on the market costs and how much the inventory is and how much it sees people online, all of those factors, which means that it's skipping over potential sales during the day. What accelerated delivery does is it removes that pacing engine. If Facebook can make a sale for that price, it's going to spend. Now, a lot of people will say that accelerated delivery isn't good because it means that you could spend through all your money and you won't be live by 3 o'clock in the afternoon. Those tend to be people that come from agencies, who are or people that run companies that need to be on all the time. I would argue, as a business owner, for you, if you've got a daily budget of $500 and you need to make a sale with that $500, if you can go home at 2 o'clock in the afternoon versus staying up till 10 a.m. to try to make those sales as a salesman in a store, you would do that. So, like, you're going to sell until your inventory runs out. And when your inventory runs out, you're going to leave. If your inventory runs out before the end of the day, you know that the next day you need to bring more inventory. In this case, inventory would be money. If you spend your $500 by noon, then tomorrow you should either expect to run out early or increase your budgets. Now, you might not have the money to increase the budgets. There might be plenty of other things, but maybe that means that you lower your bids, that you try to be a bit more aggressive. But a bid cap removes that pacing engine. So if there's 8 sales that can make by noon, it'll make all 8 of them. It'll secure every sale available, but you will run out of money earlier. And because it's going to get every sale below that mark, your average cost tends to be a little bit higher because you're going to get everything that's $50 or less. So you're going to get a lot of $49.99. You're going to get a lot of $48. Whereas when Facebook is pacing it, it sees, well, there's a $49.99 here, but in an hour and a half, we're probably going to be able to get it for $36. It's going to make that $49 right away because you said, I'm willing to spend up to this. So there's a bit of the give and take there. I personally, when I use bid cap, I always use accelerated delivery because I want to spend that money. And if I have the problem of, oh, I'm running out of money by noon or by 2 o'clock in the afternoon or by 5, I know that I've got 2 solutions. One, I lower my bid to try to get a lower cost and spread it out over the course of the day, or I make my budget higher. Those are the 2 things that'll happen. Those are your 2 action items. And maybe I don't have more money, so I can spend from another campaign. Say I've got some other campaign where I've got an extra few $100. I'll reduce that budget and shift it over to this campaign because I know that I need more resources here. My inventory is running out in this store. My inventory, being my dollars, is running out here. I need more. I'm going to pull it from someplace else and I'm going to put it here so that I can allocate everything until it breaks, until it caps out. And when it caps out, great. Now I know maybe I started at 500, but really it's like 720 that I can spend every day. Boom, I'm gonna allocate 750 there. Hopefully it spends. If it doesn't, that's great. But I know that that money's gonna be spent. I can count on it. And then I can use that as a baseline for my other campaigns. The last thing that bid cap does, that hard ceiling does, is that it delivers consistency day over day over day insofar as what your costs are. Now, what that means is your cost is never going to be over 50. So that you know, okay, I can afford to make every sale, because maybe $50 for you is break even. And you set your bid at 50 because you know, okay, I might not make a sale with every single person that comes in for $50, but there might be people that come in for the $50 sale and 3 days later they Google me and then they make a purchase. My Facebook isn't seeing it on one day window attribution, but I know that the more traffic I get to my site, the better it is for me. And the number one thing in business is to have turnover in inventory, because that'll lead to more revenue, which will give me more resources to get more profit. If that's the case, great. You can spend up to $50. And you get more consistency, because it's not like, well, one day it's 62, another day it's 48. It gives you that consistency. The downside of bid cap is that, generally speaking, you spend less. It's really, really hard to spend your daily budget every day on a bid cap. It's extremely difficult. And I would argue that if you do spend your budget every day, you either need to raise your budget or push down your bid. There's not many reasons to just say, well, I'm hitting $800 a day and spend every day and I'm going to do it. Unless that's part of your business plan, then that's fine. But I don't find use cases for that where it really makes sense. The other downside of bid cap is that it's looking for those purchases, right? So it's looking to try to find users to make conversions, which means it's using the data set from the previous few days to determine what somebody looks like. Now, if you have a bad day, that's okay. A bad day meaning, oh, I set it at 500. It usually spends like 500. It usually spends like 400 something, but today it only spent like 200 because maybe inventory was really expensive today on Facebook, right? Like for whatever reason, it was expensive to run business. Maybe there's a big sale, it was Labor Day, whatever. The problem is, if you have a few of those back to back, Facebook will see that it can't make a conversion for the price that you've asked it. And you're going to see declining spend day over day, and it declines faster and faster. I've seen bid cap budgets go from 1,000 a day for like weeks, and then 3-4 bad days where it goes from 1,000 to like 800, 700, 600, and within a week it's spending like $20. And the only way to get around that is to either take the bid cap off, set it to auto, maybe reduce your budget so you're not exposed too much, and then let it learn what people look like in that campaign so it can make sales again, and then you go through the process. Or you raise your manual bid, you turn on accelerated, there's other tricks, but bid cap inherently, when left alone, eventually will lower the spend down to zero. That's just the way that it works, which is one of the reasons that most advertisers ask for something better from Facebook. I remember talking to them all the time about like, we need something to overcome this issue because otherwise I'm just basically gonna have to cycle things. And the other option is I just duplicate my campaign and run it again. And then I'm duplicating campaigns over and over again, which means they're not learning from people, which means I have to pay the price of like things going through the learning phase and all sorts of stuff. And it becomes a whole lot of work for not really a lot of net positive benefit. And I've told you guys 1,000 times, the solution of really doing well isn't to duplicate your campaigns, your ad sets, or your ads multiple times into the same account. Like you don't need the same ad 3 times in an ad set. You don't need the same audience inside of a campaign more than once. You don't need the same, you don't want to duplicate your campaigns and try to increase spend. That is just pulling lottery tickets, and it doesn't work long term. And if that's the only way that your manual bid will work, people will move away from it, which is why Facebook came up with target cost, which we're not even going to get into. Let me just tell you, it's not good for you. Let's move on. It's used for ad agencies to project costs on engagement campaigns for like 5, 6, and 7-figure budgets. Don't use it. Your next option is what's called cost cap. Now, cost cap was the most popular answer here out of the group. It got almost half of the votes. And we've got Alyssa's using cost cap, Raba's using cost cap, Noah's using it, Bilal, Matt, David, Fatima, like a lot of really solid users. There are people in this group, cost cap, that are running 20 to 50 or $100 million companies. It is great to see this because that's what I use. I'm not going to out you guys, but there are some really fucking good people in there. Really fucking sharp people. So what cost cap is cost cap says, I want to net at this cost over time. And Facebook looks at basically a 7-day window. So every 7 days, you're going to net out around that cost. So this is also something you can, when I'm trying to explain this to people, I call it average cost, which means that Facebook will find a sale for $55 and find a sale for $45 and be like, fuck it, let's do both because they're going to average at $50. Again, going with this $50, and maybe it's $10 or $100, whatever your price point is. Where bid cap will say, I'm never going to spend more than this. Cost cap will say, I'm going to try to average to that number over a week. So in cost cap, the 3 big ways it works. Again, number 1 is that it's finding the average. So again, when we were talking about how before you might have 8 sales under $50 in the afternoon, 8 sales under $50 in the evening, there might also be another 8 sales that are only like 10 or 20% over your bid in the morning and the evening. So instead of trying to secure 10 sales to get $500 at that $50 rate, and you get some in the morning and some in the evening, and you're letting Facebook try to pace it out, you're saying, I'm willing to let you sell me something for $55 because I know that you're probably gonna get something for $42 later. And over the course of the week, with all of these, sales that you're making, I'm gonna net out at around $50. Cost cap, because of that, doesn't have the issue of delivery that bid cap does. Now, it does have a delivery issue. You're probably still not going to spend as much, but cost cap over time tends to, you run it, your delivery comes down because Facebook's having trouble finding people, but also because it needs to understand what does that cost look like after a week. And the only way it knows what it is after a week is on day 7 or day 8, it knows what happened on the very first impression from day 1. So it takes a week or 2 for cost cap to really, really get smart. But, so you'll see is it'll spend and then it'll kind of drop down and it might bottom out, like where you freak out. And in this case, you have a couple options. 1, you can raise your bid. 2, you can lower your budgets. Either one of those will, remember, your bid equals your budget and your estimated action rate. So if you increase your bid, you're essentially saying you're willing to take a lower estimated action rate. Or if you lower your budget, your bid goes down as well, because that's the math, right? Y equals mx plus b, slope intercept, whatever. So you can do that. I would say that if your delivery drops below like 10 or 20% to the point where you are uncomfortable, then take actions. Otherwise, give it a couple of days. Because what happens is Facebook starts to see, okay, well, day 1, day 2, day 3, day 4, day 5, day 6. All right, I'm starting to understand what a good sale is and what a bad sale is. I'm understanding how to get to these numbers. And also, on a cost cap, it's not probably, it may or may not hit that number day 1. It may or may not hit it day 3. So say your cost cap is, again, $50. And the first few days are like $68 and $49 and $53. It knows that the only way it's going to net out at $50 is over the course of the week getting really low cost sales. So it's waiting to see that really easy, low hanging fruit where it essentially functions like a bid cap campaign. But as it starts to learn, as it gets those, what I find is it slowly starts to creep back up. And over time, if you let a cost cap campaign mature, it tends to have the best balance of controlling your overall costs, because you're putting in an average cost that's desired at the end of the week. Now, it might be a little bit more, might be a little bit less. I mean, we don't need to warn you that it might be a little bit less, but it also tries to spend as much money as it can at that price. So, I mean, if, for instance, say you're selling t-shirts for $15 and you need to make every sale for $10 or less to make money, you can put in a cost cap at like $10. And after a week or 2 weeks or 3 weeks, you're going to start to see that basically every sale is around $10. Some might cost you more, some might cost you less. But you're going to basically start to get there. What I would argue is most of these campaigns, if you can run it at dollar for dollar over what the customer value is, that's phenomenal, because you're going to get more people inside of retargeting. You're going to get more people coming in organically throughout. If you can make a little bit of profit, 10, 20% on prospecting, then you can afford to run retargeting campaigns, because the cost for them is made up for by the profit margin of prospecting. And then you just massively increase the volume of traffic, which is inventory turnover, which is revenue for your company, which is more resources for you to use for generating profit. That's a larger business discussion, but yeah. So the second thing that's right about cost cap is that because it's seeing data points above and below, you don't need to necessarily, well, first off, you don't have the option of accelerated delivery, but you don't need to use an accelerated delivery option to make sure that you're spending your money. Because remember, in the bid cap, if you've got 8 in the morning and 8 at night, if you miss those 8 in the morning because Facebook's thinking you got a couple more at night, and then there's a couple more at night don't show up, you don't spend. In cost cap, it's saying, well, I know that over the course of the week, I need to average this number. So what happens is, what I've seen more and more with it is, in the second half of the day, if it can't spend well in the beginning, it'll try to ramp up, knowing that it's going to try to spend as much money as it can, but it's also going to try to make as many sales as possible. And if your cost cap can't deliver at the cost that you needed, then it's very, very much an the sales pitch. So it's an offer or it's a creative issue. Whereas in big cap, it could be a million things that are the issue. It could be your audience. It could be big cap. You're far more exposed to market forces, right? Like other advertisers spending against your target audience, and you're more exposed to those things because you're basically not willing to take any inch of a loss. So because you're not willing to open up yourself for more risk, you're going to have far less reward, and you're prone and you're subject to anything that looks dangerous. You shut down. Cost cap, because it's looking for an average, is willing to take losses all day long, left and right, up and down, because it also knows it's going to get wins, left, right, and up and down, and it's going to net out hopefully where you ask it to. The third thing that's really great about cost cap is because of this functionality where it will allow you to have more delivery throughout the day. You've got less options of where it's going to get shut down. That algorithm also works very, very well for running multiple creatives, specifically testing multiple creatives, because it doesn't say, oh, well, this audience, I can't spend more here. It's, well, this ad didn't work, so maybe I'll try this ad, and maybe I'll try this ad. And so it cycles through spends on your ads as a facet of how the algorithm works. So it's really, really good for creative testing. And this is something I actually mentioned more in the group of the CCCBO. We've been talking a lot about bucket-based, the BBCBO. The cost cap CBO is like the next step. When I was, the last few case studies I was working with the Facebook reps, that's what we were really getting to. And it was the thing that was beating bucket-based CBO. And, there's a lot of learnings we have in it. And I've been setting up best practices, and that's some of the stuff we've been sharing in the Slack channel about setups. Which I think will ultimately be the next ebook that we have. I know I've been talking about a couple things for the next ebook, but the sexy, shiny thing keeps changing every week, and I apologize for that. I'm overdue, so I'm going to try to get one out by the end of this month. I promise I'll have one out. Hopefully it can be the CCCBO. And so the beauty of cost cap versus other things, it spends more like an auto bid, and that it's willing to get conversions wherever it can find them. But it also keeps in mind what your business objective is, like a target, like a bid cap. And it's the only option inside of Facebook that does that. Also, the beauty is that it's something that really, really benefits from a solid offer and a solid creative. It takes what Facebook is pushing forward as the most important items that you need to be looking at, which is, your customer journey and your creative. And it's the bidding model that most closely matches putting those things as a priority. So I have it on good authority that the cost cap is where the engineers are working right now. That's the thing that's getting the most work. And it's designed to work with CBO. And one of the other beautiful things about it, because it's designed to work with CBO, is we don't need to put so much manual labor into managing the CBO campaigns like we do with bucket-based. Now, bucket-based CBO will spend more, and you're going to be able to scale your learnings. But if volume of delivery isn't your concern, if cost from your delivery is your concern, it seems more and more like CCCBO is the way to go. So bucket-based CBO or BBCBO is when you want to spend your budget. BB for budget. CC, the cost cap CBO, is for when you want to control your cost. The best run accounts are going to be running both. Absolutely. And BBCBO is also phenomenal for business insights. Which there's no way to run business intelligence and reconnaissance in your target market better than bucket-based CBO. But cost cap CBO is getting more and more, now that their algorithm is learning, more and more the way to go to manage to a cost, where you're like, I'll spend $3,000 today, or I'll spend $10,000 today, but I want to net out week over week, month over month at this certain cost. And cost cap is the way to go. And we're going to talk more and more about those builds later. Hi, Justin. Hey, Justin. Nice to see you. And Alan. Hi, guys. And we got some more people up here, too. Let's see. We got Austin and Abu and Yulia. Hey, Yulia. And Josh. Hey, Josh. What's going on, man? Sorry I haven't hit your message. I started a thing, and I've been really busy with a lot of gigs. But message me, Josh. Let's get your walled garden up and running. So with that, there's a couple of things that I wanted to cover just from the group this week. And then we can kind of wrap it up, unless you guys have any questions. If you have questions, feel free to ask down here, and I'll answer all of them that I can, that I see, and all of that. And again, if you're watching this and it's like, February, still ask the question. Tag me in it. I ask you, please tag me in it, because when Facebook says, oh, somebody commented, and then I click it, it sends me just to my page. It doesn't send me to the actual comment, and it's a nightmare to find, and I can't see it. And also, if you want to ask questions, please try to ask them, propose them as posts in the group, because I get so many Facebook messages that you just get filtered out, and I don't see a lot of them. And I make an effort to go in and see. So, yeah, there you go. Anyway, two things that I wanted to address real quick. Number one was how to automate your UTMs. Now, we've talked a lot about using UTMs, and this is in the group. This is from Tuesday, so that would be, what is that, like 9/9 or 9/10? What was Tuesday? Tuesday was the, I can't do math. I should be able to, my job. Tuesday was the 10th. So this is September 10th. We're talking about a sexy tactic called how to automate your UTMs. And what this is code. So first off, UTM is a universal tracker. So it allows you to see people inside of your Google Analytics or any other resource that you have. It also allows you to tag ads so that you can make custom audiences inside of Facebook or anywhere else, saying, oh, the URL contains X amount. So you can say, for instance, the ad name is, coffee, right? Or the ad name is dog or something. And you're gonna be able to know, okay, well, how did all my dog ads do? Or how did all my coffee ads do? Where I use it the most is these automations that allow you to say campaign name or ad set name. And what that does is I can take a look at my reporting or I can give it to an analyst, whatever, inside of Google Analytics, and I can see, okay, well, these are the campaigns that are actually driving the most valuable users downstream, right? So it's a really good hire and business thing. It's also really good to know when you're inside of, you're not Facebook, and you want to see, well, which retargeting audiences are doing the best. We can go to ad set name, which has your name of your audience. Hopefully your name of your ad set is the name of your audience. And you'll be able to see, oh, it's site traffic 7 days, or it's ad engagers, or whatever it is. And you can say, well, this thing's getting a lot of volume and it's getting me a lot of revenue. And then you can go to the platform and say, well, how much to spend against it? And you're going to get a really great amount of business insights. The last thing that's really awesome is if you have influencers, you can tag the ad name and the campaign name and say, okay, well, this prospecting ad came from an influencer. Okay, let's say you're working, I don't know where the dog is, but let's say your influencer is Morrison the dog. He's around here somewhere. So if your influencer is Morrison the dog, you can tag the ad sets and the ad names and say this is coming from Morrison the dog. Then what it means is you can retarget somebody with just ads from that person, so that I've got my brand name, but I also have retargeting ads. I've got influencer content, and I know the influencer brought this person in. Let me retarget them with more ads from this influencer, so that you can really start to say, well, this influencer isn't just the person, waving people into the store, but they're also the salesman on the ad cart, or, the site traffic, WCA audiences. So you can follow people down. Now, this might very heavily segment your audiences, but it's another value. Also, you can use UTMs to say, if you have multiple product offerings, you might have a campaign that could potentially send somebody down multiple products. Like maybe it's a campaign that sends somebody to a collection page where they can make a choice of which product they want to buy. You'd then be able to source back up to see which campaigns are driving people. It's really, really good for business intelligence. And I also use it for custom audiences for retargeting. Where it works the best for custom audiences and retargeting is if you have one pixel across multiple stores. This is something that I've worked with Steven on. You guys don't know Steven, but whatever. Steven on, where he's got one pixel, but it goes across 3 or 4 different brands. We can say that this pixel fired that came from a campaign that has this brand name on it. So now we can segment all of his audiences by the URL or it contains. So it's an added cart where the URL contains this thing, and we know that that sources back to a Facebook campaign for one specific brand. Or if he's got multiple brands within one campaign, because he basically has multiple brands inside of one ecosystem, they kind of compete with each other because he wants more market share. We can say that this person clicked on a brand X ad, so I want to retarget them with brand X, not brand Y. And so we're able to really control that customer flow. The other thing, and the automated piece means that it's done automatically. You don't need to go back in and update all of your UTMs all of the time. It will set the UTM, as you change things, you just go back in and hit refresh on your UTMs. Or you have a set UTM where you just want to apply it to everything, and when you make a change, you just copy and paste that UTM change into all of your ads with the dynamic tags, and it'll update them. In general, it's really, really solid, and it eliminates a lot of human error. Yeah, that's there was one other thing, but I realized that was from 2 weeks ago. So I guess that's about it. All right. Well, there we go. I guess I already covered that stuff. So I know it's early in the morning on Saturday, and we're just kind of doing this thing, so not as many people are watching these things on Saturday because they're so used to doing it on Sunday. But why don't we call it a day that we don't have a lot of questions, unless Austin or Alan or Justin or Bogdan or Eldon or Bilal or Rabu or Austin or Raba or anybody here has anything else. I want to let you guys know that I really appreciate it. We're growing really fast. I think we have come up, if we're not already there, we're coming up on it really quick. Yeah, we're probably going to cross 5,000 users today. We're going to cross 5,000 users. We have 4,986, and I've got over 30 people looking to get into the group. So thank you guys very much. That's insane. And hope to see you guys around. I'm also starting to post some of this stuff on LinkedIn, so you can check that out. And if you enjoy this stuff, or if you like any of it, please, it would mean the world to me if you sign up for the Patreon to say thank you and get some more resources, or if you invite a friend. All right, well, with that, great weekend to you, and really check out the homework for this week. I think it'll really, really, really help you. Not only will it help your business, but you get some free shit or a discount on some shit. I'm looking at y'all still in this group. I see you. Do this shit and get into the group. Come on. Why not? You got fuck all else to do. All right? I'll see you. Hi, Chris. Sorry, man. We just finished up. I know it's Saturday morning. It's early. We're used to doing it on Sundays. We're doing it Saturdays now because there's football on Sundays. All right. See you guys later. Bye. Wait. Almost said bye. Austin just asked a question as I was hitting the end button. Ooh, sneaky. Austin says, if learnings happen at the ad level, does that mean theoretically if we duplicate with the same post ID, it'll transfer learnings to the new ad set? All right, Austin, this is a great question to end on. Yes, so here's the way it works. I'm gonna close with this and I'll try to make it as simple as possible. Your ads learn who responds well to them. Their sales pitches, and they understand who's best to respond to that sales pitch. And the learnings are carried over from ad set to ad set. That's why when you run an ad in prospecting only, you'll get one performance, but when you introduce that ad into retargeting, it works better in prospecting also. The ad set is like a manager sending salesmen out into the store floor. So the ad set knows which person is going to respond to which sales pitch. So if you've got 5 ads in an ad set, that ad set is the manager saying, we'll show this ad to this person, and this ad to this person, and this ad to that person. If you start a new ad set, that ad set doesn't know how to use the ads inside of it. The ad set will garner learnings over time based on trend analysis of which person to show which ad to. The campaign does the same thing, but it's like a regional manager. So, or like a general manager, the campaign knows which ad sets to spend money on. And that ad set knows which sales pitch to show to which person. So the campaign sees all of the people and then says, okay, this person in this ad set this person is in the ecosystem. This ad set will probably sell to them best. And then that ad set says, okay, I see the person you want me to sell to. This is the right sales pitch. So to answer your question, if you duplicate a post ID into a new ad set, the learnings carry over. I recommend you run all of your best prospecting ads inside of retargeting, and they're going to increase your retargeting performance, which will increase the performance in prospecting. But if you make a brand new ad set and you fill with a bunch of old ads, that ad set itself will not functionally be better because it has really trained well. It has a lot of ads with learnings. That ad set will have to lead the learning phase itself because it has to know what a good and a bad impression is. It has to know how to use the tools that you've given it. So the ads are really good tools that learn over time and become better. But if the ad set doesn't know how to use them, then it doesn't matter. Hopefully that answers your question. Now I'm out of here because we got to go clean up. See you guys later.